Hey everybody, it's Lee Montgomery of SeenDaily.com. Today we're going to talk about the WIX Filters Pick 3 Stock Car Racing Fantasy Game with me, Lee Montgomery. Well, last week I didn't do so hot. I hope your team did a little bit better than mine. My three picks, some of them ran well, some of them didn't. Kyle Busch was dominant in the race. Boy, he was looking pretty smart, looking like a good pick, until he got taken out in the wreck with Dale Jr. and Brian Vickers. And then Robbie Gordon, my second choice, never really got up to speed, and he was also involved in that wreck, so that didn't really work out either, unfortunately for me, but statistically was a good choice. My last choice, Elliott Sadler, I think a lot of you may have picked him. He ended up running very well, finishing in the top 5, could have won the thing. I know a lot of people also picked A.J. Allmendinger, which I kind of questioned at the start of the week, but hey, he turned out great, obviously, finishing third, so let's wrap up Daytona, and I hope you had a good week. And we're moving on this weekend to Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California. 2-mile D-shaped oval. The first race of the year that's unrestricted. No restrictor plates this weekend, so we don't have to worry about that. So we can sort of kind of tell how some of the teams are going to run for sure the rest of the year. And in Tier 1 this week, I went with Jimmie Johnson. We could probably say that every week with Jimmy and be a good choice, but at California especially, he's fantastic. He's got 2 victories and 4 top 5s in the last 4 races, so that's really hard to beat. That was the first race he won was at California back when he was a rookie, and his average finish at all the races he's ever run there is 5.9. That's just phenomenal. Other guys you may want to look at if you're considering, if you don't want to go with Johnson, Matt Kenseth is always a good choice, Carl Edwards, any of the Roush Fenway guys, they usually run very well at California. Kyle Busch again is a good choice. And you know, any of those 4 would be solid picks, but to me Johnson is just the #1 guy. In Tier 2 this week, I'm going with Brian Vickers. Red Bull seems to be running very well this year. Vickers always runs well at California. Last year on super speedways, which are the tracks that aren't the restrictor plates but are bigger than a mile, he had the 18th most points of any drivers in the field, and that's a solid choice. And at California, he had an average finish of 11.5. Now again, when we're talking about that, we're just talking about last year, just because that was the first year that the car that's known as the car tomorrow was run at California and some of the other super speedways. So to talk about past records prior to last year is kind of getting on shaky ground because it's a different car. But he was, like again, he was solid at California. Vickers I'm talking about, average finish of 11.5, 9th best among all the drivers, so he's a good choice in Tier 2. In Tier 3, I'm gonna go with David Reutimann of Michael Waltrip Racing. That team also seems to be getting a little bit better. They were better last year. They should be improved this year. He started 12th and led 3 laps and finished 9th in the August race at California, the most recent race there. So if you want to base your pick off of that alone, that's a good choice. And he improved over a 23rd place finish he had in the first race at California. So clearly that team is getting better. And again, on super speedways like Vickers, he was strong, 22nd most points of anybody in the field. So those are my drivers. Again, Jimmie Johnson in Tier 1, Brian Vickers in Tier 2, and David Reutimann in Tier 3. And if you want to go for the lap leader award, the WIX Filters lap leader, I'm going to go again with Kyle Busch. And just remember last week, he led 88 laps in the 500, and I said he'd lead 76, so that was pretty good. I think I said he's going to go with 34 laps led this time here at California. So thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned to SeenDaily.com for more as we go right along in the season. The WIX Filters Pick 3 Stock Car Racing Fantasy Game.